Okay, so first of all, I apologize for the noise, background noise. I'm outside. Cars are going to be driving by. Neighbors are going to be outside. People will be mowing their lawns. Yes, I'm still unfortunately chunky. I've not been able to get rid of this excess weight, which is very disheartening. And my beard is so gray. I need to shave. I am like way behind in shaving, but I like my haircut. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good, right? Anyways, so I've discussed this before. I don't know how much detail I've gone into, but I want to discuss it now. So let me tell you about the night, 2 nights, I had to spend in a mental institution. So one day I was working and something just hit me. I don't know what it was, but I started crying and then I started shaking. So I asked my boss if I could take the rest of the day off, and he said yes. So I call my doctor, I tell him what's going on, and they give me a prescription for something, and I'm taking it, it's making me worse. So I call my mother, I tell her what's going on, she comes by, she sees the condition I'm in, and she's like, maybe we should go get help. And I was like, not yet. Let me see if I can get through this. So she left. I asked my boss for another day off, and the next day comes, and I'm literally in a ball on the floor, crying and shaking and wanting to end my life. Like, this was probably one of, not the most, but one of the lowest points of my life. So I call my mom again. She comes over and she sees me and she's like, Brandon, we got to go to the hospital. You're not well. And I could see she was heartbroken. Like, I could see it all over her face. That seeing her son like this was just devastating. So here's the thing. Here's what I didn't know was the worst thing to do when you're in that state is to go to a hospital. What I should have done is gone to a local mental hospital. But I didn't know any better. There's a plane in the background. I hope it's not too loud. So anyways, she takes me to the hospital, and the whole way there, I'm still shaking and crying. Like, I can't stop. My memory goes in and out at this point because I was so just gone. So I get into the room, and I'm still crying and shaking, and the nurse comes in and says, what's going on? And I said, look, I need to talk to someone about what's going on in my head. I'm not going to hurt myself. I won't do anything like that, but I need to be able to be open and honest about my feelings. And she's like, and I also said, look, I can't be locked in a room and locked away. I need to just be able to openly communicate. Within 15 seconds of opening my mouth, I said something along the effect, I'm feeling suicidal. I'm not going to hurt myself, but I don't want to be alive anymore. And within seconds, they grab security, they rip my backpack out of my hand, they lock down the medicine cabinet, they lock me in the room and say, you're not going anywhere. And instantly I start freaking out and shaking. I'm like, Mom, I can't go. I can't go into this hospital. I can't go into a mental institution. I can't be locked away. And they told me I had no choice. So I don't know what they drugged me with. They drugged me with something that had me completely going in and out of consciousness. And then they put me on a bus and they drive me 2 hours away to a facility. They basically drop me off, walk me in, and then leave. And the nurse says, I need you to sign this paperwork that you're being voluntarily committed. And I go, no, I'm not volunteering to this. I'm not going inside. And she goes, well, then we're going to put you on a 5-day hold instead of a 3-day hold, and you'll be involuntarily committed. So I had no choice. It was either 3 days or 5 days. And here's the thing. There were weapons in the house. If I was going to do it, I would have done it. And I tried explaining that to everyone, but no one was getting it. So they locked me in a room, and for the next 24 to 36 hours, I was alone. They gave me medication, But I had no access to people. I had no phone. I had no books. I had nothing. I was just stuck in my own dark thoughts with no help. And it was horrible. Then, when they finally let me out to socialize with people, it was a shit show. There's this old lady sitting there crying. There's a girl in her room. There's food trays stacked outside her room, and she's just laying there under a blanket. Like, nobody was in good shape. And the nurse that was watching the old lady crying was just sitting there texting. So my instincts kicked in. My grandma and my mom always raised me to watch out for other people, to protect other people, or to help people in need. And I'm that type of person. I get involved. I can't help it. So I go up to the old lady. I start talking to her. I try and be comforting. I go, what's going on? She's like, I'm in pain. And I go to the nurse. I go, can you help her? She goes, no, she's fine. Don't worry about it. And she continues to go to her phone. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry. This woman's not in good shape. She needs help. And she goes, well, you're in here too, so what do you know? And I go, well, it's clear this lady needs help. Can you please help her? And she refused to do anything. So then I go up to another nurse. I tell her what's going on. And then I also inform them of the other girl that was that was in her room with the food trays piled up, not eating, not doing anything. And they're like, well, we're understaffed right now, so we'll get to it when we can. So I'm just like, I'm going crazy. Shortly thereafter, before I get back to that, I finally get to see a psychiatrist. I explain everything to him. And he goes, well, it honestly sounds like it was a mistake and you shouldn't have been brought in here. But I can't let you go yet, so give me another day and I might let you go tomorrow. So fast forward after that, the girl's still in her room, laying under the blanket. So I go up, I stay outside the room because I didn't want to make her feel unsafe, because she doesn't know me. I'm a stranger in a strange place. She's in a strange place. So I just start making conversation with her and talking to her for a while. And I finally got her to come out. And I got her to, there's two other guys I met there, and we had access to cards, and we all played cards at the table. And I got her to start eating. But this place was horrible. And that night, I was stressed beyond belief. I needed out. So I had gone up to the nurse's station twice to say I needed more anti-anxiety meds because I was anxious. Well, the next morning, the psychiatrist comes up and he goes, come here. And he pulls me aside. He goes, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what are you talking about? I told you if you stayed calm, I'd let you out the next day. And I said, look, man, I'm in an unfamiliar place. I'm locked in a mental institution. I'm not okay. I'm anxious. I'm like, I just want to go home. He's like, yeah, we'll see about that. You should have kept yourself under control. And then walked out of the room. And I'm just sitting there in shock. I start tearing up because I'm like, great, I'm going to be stuck here even longer. I was going crazy in there. So I was just in this horrible state of mind. And this is hard to talk about. But finally, the day after that, they agreed to release me. I called my mom. She came and picked me up. I had to fake that I was okay. I had to lie to get out of there. I was not okay. I left that hospital in really bad shape and still suicidal. I followed up with Linden Oaks Hospital for what's called, I believe it was called intensive outpatient, where you're not inpatient, but you go there 5 days a week for 5 to 6 hours a day. It didn't help me at all. There was something that did help me. However, that's another long story, and I'm going to save that for another day. But something happened that made me better, and it was like the flip of a dime, and I was out of that bad mental state. Needless to say, if you need help, obviously a hospital is still a resort. It's better than not doing anything. If your choice is doing nothing or going to a regular hospital, go to the regular hospital. I'm not trying to scare people off from getting help. Please don't take this video that way. But if you're in that bad of shape, call the suicide helpline, go to a mental hospital. It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to seek help. Anyways, I look forward to the part 2 of this video. I think some people will find what happened comical. I know I do. That's what made me better. Thank you to my patrons who are still continue to support me. Thank you to the people that still watch my videos. You all are amazing. I know I've unfortunately made some promises of being back already, and I haven't come back, and I'm sorry. My studio's not set up. I'm still not all there, or not all better. But I'm working on it. I have a psychiatrist. I have a therapist. I'm working towards bettering my life. I'm trying to quit some bad habits I have. I shouldn't say bad. Yeah, that's a bad word. I'm just trying to quit some habits, and I'm trying to get back into the gym. So, just know, I know I got a little emotional during this video, but I am okay. I'm not in any danger of hurting myself, and I love and miss you all, you guys.